No limit, baby. No limit. What up, Lauren? What's going on? How's everybody out there? What's going on? AK-47. What up? 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 You know what I'm saying? So I am sure that a lot of people here. One second. You want me to talk about Game of Thrones. I'm sure people want me to talk about Song of Ice and Fire. And I love talking about Game of Thrones and the Song of Ice and Fire. But I'm not really talking about that at this particular time. Maybe somehow, some way, it will break down this whole stream and I will get into a situation like that. But there's a huge fight going on tonight, which is Errol Spence versus Sean Porter. I have never done a boxing stream or talked about boxing, so I'm going to talk about that. But before I do, we're going to talk about this Malik Yoba. Now, I just recently on the Lady in the Dime podcast, please subscribe to the Lady in the Dime podcast, we did a little video on Malik Yoba. Well, thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that you love the glasses. I appreciate it. It's funny to me. I don't even know if they look good or not. You know what I mean? I'm just rocking them because I bought them. So I have really no choice but to rock them right now. You know what I mean? I already paid the dough for them. So hopefully they look good. If you say they look good, I know you're not going to lie to me. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? So I do appreciate it. I got the Lady Don podcast up in the quarter. And I ain't got the lady here with me. So I probably shouldn't have that on there, but still, either or, you know what I mean? I'm still here rocking, and that's what it basically is. It's probably going that section anyway, you know what I mean? So what up to y'all? I know I don't expect a huge crowd, but not that I give a huge crowd anyway. But I don't expect a bunch of people up in here to talk about this situation that we talking about right here, and that's Malik Yoba, because I've gotten a lot of comments for this video that I just put out there, for the clip of the video from the Lady and Dom podcast about Malik Yoba. What up, Angel? How's everything? What's going on for my part? How's everything going out there? Well, thank you very much, Lauren. I truly do appreciate that. And I appreciate the comment that you left on the Malik Yoba situation and all that. Now, I don't even think of it as a situation, but there's been a couple of comments that were left there about Malik Yoba that I didn't appreciate. We're gonna address these comments really fast, you know what I mean, and talk about them. Now, if people don't know what's going on with Malik Yoba or anything about that, he's an actor, you know what I mean, but he is from New York Undercover and a bunch of other shows, and recently he has came out on the Breakfast Club, on social media, and a whole bunch of other things, saying that he is attracted to transgender women, which is nothing wrong with that. All right. But he's saying also in the same breath that he's not a gay man. He doesn't identify as a gay man. And that's fine. And some people are debating whether he's gay or whether he is not gay. So I am not a transgender expert. I really don't know a lot about that. You know what I mean? So I can't give you, I can only give you my opinion on the situation. You know what I mean? And, in all honesty, first, number one, let's put this down. It doesn't matter what it is. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who you love or who you with. That has nothing to do with anything, right? So there's been a couple of comments of people saying, who cares? Well, you can't just say who cares, because that you could say who cares about Game of Thrones? Who cares about Batman? Who cares about Star Wars? Who cares about this? You could say who cares about anything if you want to go into that, and then nobody talk about nothing, all right? The reason why he came out with it and did it, he said himself, was to get publicity. That's what he came out with. You know what I mean? So he came out here to get publicity on it, and he wanted people to talk about it. That's why we're talking about it. What up, Larry Miller? We're going to talk about the Spence fight in a second, bro. We just talking real quick about this Malik Yoba situation real quick. You know what I mean? So it's like this. It's the way I see it. You know what I mean? The way I see it, if people asking, is the man gay, is the man straight, I don't believe the man is straight. All right. So I don't believe that he's straight whatsoever. There's no way he's straight. All right. I would say if anything, he's bisexual. I think that he's also kind of lying to people. He's trying to come out, but he's not trying to come out the right way. Because what I say is like this. If you're going to do something and you're going to do something publicity wise or anything else like that, you need to put both feet in it. Right. He's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out the game. And that's pretty disrespectful to the people who lived in that community 100%. You know what I mean? So this cat, he's got to come out. If you're going to say that you're doing something, son, I expect that cat to come out there and put both feet in and say, this is what I do. I'm attracted to transgender women, and I'm proud of that fact. And that's what it is. Don't try to sugarcoat it and say other things. You know what I mean? Because I don't know what it means. You know what I mean? Maybe people out there could tell me out there what it means. I mean, it's transgender. Does that mean that you fully have the penis chopped off? I don't know if that means that. If you're having sex with a woman that has a penis, I cannot see in any way you trying to claim that you're not gay. Now you only having sex with women that have the penis chopped off. You know what I mean? So I don't know. You know what I mean? But it seems like he's trying to he's trying to come out and say that there's no problem with it, but he still has a problem with it in the back of his head because he's trying to not put both feet up in the water. You know what I'm saying? He needs to just come out there. If he gonna say something, just say, listen, this is who I am. This is what I do. And you can think what you want about me because I'm living my life and that's all good. And if people want to think negative about me, then fuck you. And the people who support me, I love you. That's what I would say if I was in his situation. But the way the dude coming off and stuff like that, it looks like he's trying to play both matter. You know what I mean? So Craig right here, he says, what does it matter who he sticks his junk in? It don't matter to me. I don't care who he stick his shit in. He can stick his shit in anybody he wants. You know what I mean? I'm just saying the fact that he came out with it, he needs to come out and just say it the way he's supposed to say. He shouldn't be coming out here trying to sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? And that's the way I see it. What up to Cat from Bridge 4 up in the building? You know what I mean? So listen, he could stick his dick in the goddamn tree for all I give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if he stick his dick in the motherfucking tree. He could stick his dick in the pig's ass for all I give a fuck. He could go fuck sheep. You know, I heard about heads doing shit like that too. Not saying he does, but I heard about people doing it. You know what I mean? They can go run that shit. I don't give a fuck what you fuck. I don't care what you love. You can fall in love with a goddamn with a mannequin, all right? And talk to the mannequin and say that's your chick, and that's your chick. I'll say what up, shorty, and keep it moving. You know what I mean? I'm just saying that you can't come out there, you know what I mean, and act like you trying to run something. It's kind of disrespectful to the people who live in that community 100%. You know what I mean? You live that 100%, live that life 100%, and then don't really put both feet up in there. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying about that whole situation with Malik Yoba. You know what I'm saying? I think he's a bisexual, if anything, and he should just come out and be happy to say he's bisexual, and that's it. And he's attracted to men, not men in general, because he doesn't like the men aesthetic. But if you put a wig on a man, put some hormones in a man, and then put fake boobs and fake ass in the man, all of a sudden that's a woman to you, then that's fine. That could be a woman to you. And if you look at it like that, then you can look at it like that. That is what it is. You know what I mean? So I respect your opinion on that situation and how you feel about that. But I'm saying, son, to me, I think you trying to play both sides. And Malik Yoba come on here and he could talk to me anytime he wants. You know what I mean? He gonna get his shit out there and say something. Come on here and say something to me, and we can figure this out. You know what I mean? Because it is what it is. Catherine says it would be pansexual, attracted to a person regardless what gender they are. Well, then that's it. And come out there and say pansexual. You know what I mean? You can say he's pansexual. Lauren says she want to talk about this real quick, so I'm gonna bring on Lauren real quick. I'm gonna see if I think she's on. I'm gonna send her the link on my Facebook page. I bring Lauren on to talk about this Malik Yoba, and then I promise you we're going right to Earl Spence. You're going right to Earl Spence, right? It's not gonna last that long. All right, then we're gonna go right into Earl Spence. I haven't got a chance to talk to Lauren in a second anyway, so let's talk about it. 1 second, let me get the link real quick. Oh my God. All right, real quick. All right, all right, so we're gonna send that. I'm also gonna send a link to somebody else real quick. We talk about this real quick. She want to talk about this, so I don't feel like you know what I mean, like I'm being disrespectful. That's why people, it feels like people think in the comments that I'm trying to be disrespectful to the gay community. That's not the case at all. I'm actually think I'm trying to be really respectful towards him. All right. All right. So I sent out 2 links, 2 people real quick, and they come up in here, and then after they come up in here real quick, then we gonna be done talking about Malik Yoba, and then we gonna come back and we gonna talk about this fight, right? Real quick and stuff like that. But we gotta finish this Malik Yoba thing real quick and get this done. So yeah, people trying to say that Don trying to be disrespectful, you know what I mean? And Don ain't trying to be disrespectful. I think that coming out halfway, being half-assed about it, the way he's doing it is kind of disrespectful. I think he's being disrespectful. I think he needs to come out and show some love and everybody to this situation and say that this is what he is and this is what he's proud of being, and that's what it is. You know what I mean? So that's where I see it. Now, for y'all people wondering what the Don is drinking, the Don is drinking some old duels. The Don is I don't really drink anymore. I drink, but I don't drink. Y'all don't drink. You know what I mean? I do drink. I didn't give up drinking. You know what I mean? Anything like that. But I drink and shit because what is this right here? I see you. I don't see you in the thing. So.
Hey, hello? I'm here. I'm here. I'm just Lauren? Not on cam. Can you hear me?
So I don't see it. I would split screen with you.
Can you hear me?
Let me tell her no. All right. Okay. Move her from the screen for a second until she gets her things fixed. Or I can see and hear her, and then I'll put it in there. But yeah, I think it's a little disrespectful. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna bring somebody from the community so that they can voice their opinion on it too. Because I don't want you to think that I'm just trying to, that I'm saying something that I don't belong. Listen, I'm not gay, so maybe I don't have the right to be commenting about a lot of things, right? So, AK, you good, girl?
Yo, what's up?
Oh, my bad. 1 second. I have to put on my headphones so I can hear y'all. All right, let me put my headphones on. That's probably what's going on. All right, I got y'all here. Let me go get my headphones real quick.
AK, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good microphone.
Excellent.
I got one right here, real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, I think it's the way his sound is set up. Once he gets his headphones in, he should be able to hear both of us.
Yeah, he'd be fine.
What's
good? I forgot about this dumbass mic.
Hey, chat, what's going on?
Expensive ass mic. Gotta have a headset in. Force you to have the headset.
So I don't have my cam on because it's late and I can't be bothered like
all right.
Stuff look decent.
All right, so I'm at. So we got a black screen, 2 black people, right? So that's all right. Don't worry about it.
I'm instantly part of the family now. Awesome.
All right, that's all right. All right, so I got AK-47 with me, rocking with me real quick. I got Lauren from Lauren's Corner rocking with me real quick right now. And as I said, which people said that. Yeah, I'm drinking this old duels because I ain't really drinking right now. Like defeats the purpose of me working out, doing all the working out I'm doing, and drinking all the alcohol. So we're gonna stop that drinking for a little while until we get the look we want. All right. So besides that, AK-47, you are someone who identifies with the gay community, correct?
Indeed, right. I am.
I don't want people to think I'm putting you out there or anything. I'm not like you ain't out there.
I already know you weren't. I mean, you said in the very beginning, it's not anything that matters to you. You're giving your opinion on Malik himself, not really his sexuality or what he said.
Yeah, I'm giving an opinion on what he did.
By anything you said.
All right, thank you very much. So I just want to know, how do you feel about? I know you know about the Malik Yoba situation. We get to you, Lauren, in 1 second. But how do you feel about the situation? You have people saying that the man, they think he's gay. He's saying he's not. You think it's disrespectful the way he's coming out with this to your community? Or you think he's doing it the right way?
I think he is, speaking whatever he feels the need to speak on. Whether he's doing it for publicity or not, I don't know. Some people do choose to come out to, further their career. Like they say, no press, or no press is bad press. However it affects you, still people are talking about you. If that's why he did it, then that's a little bit shitty. But besides that, if that's what he liked, that's what he liked. It's not messing with me. at all and doesn't affect my life in any way, shape, or form. He's not hurting anyone. He's a grown-ass man, and if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do.
Exactly, and I don't want people to say anything when I was saying I don't care if he sleeps with a tree. In no way take that I'm saying I'm comparing a transgender person to a tree or anything.
Yeah, if anyone thinks that, I think they need to get themselves
people try to say stupid shit. You know what I mean? Just try to start a fight. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, I don't care what that man do or what he do. I hope he's just happy. I don't care what anyone does, as long as they're happy what they do. You know, full disclosure, my daughter is in a relationship with a woman. She's engaged to her. They live together and they live in a happy life. I have no problem with anyone that is gay or anything like that. I'm saying from what I've seen him, I think he's trying to play both sides. Like he's trying to put his foot in and say, I'm attracted to transgender women, but I don't want y'all to look at me like I'm gay because you're going to look at me like I'm bad. And if that's the case, then you shouldn't have said nothing, because being gay, there's nothing wrong with being gay. You should just come out and just say this straight up. Listen, this is what I do. This is what I like. Fuck y'all. And that's it. But that's the way I take it, Lauren.
And that's pretty much it.
What's your opinion on it?
Go ahead, Lauren.
Okay, so I am bi, but
you're bi what? I'm
bisexual.
Okay, bisexual. Go ahead.
So I'm not always in the frame of mind where I'm like fully part of the community, but that's just the way I've kind of been for quite some time, and AK will know much about that. But in regards to this discussion, and I said in my comment as well in the video, and everyone can go and see that clearly, that there's a certain kind of stigma about coming out as fully gay, and especially if you're of color or different, and if you're not white, basically, and that might play into it where he's thinking, oh, but I like this person, I'm accepting this person for who they are, but I'm not going to quite say what I actually am. And he may not believe that he's gay. And a lot of straight men are like that in perfectly good marriages, who out with those marriages go seeking out transgender women for the fantasy, for the thrill, for the whatever. But some genuinely do have an attraction to that because they don't see them as men, they see them as women. And I would also advocate not to be PC, but the way you talk might trigger some people. Me and AK know how you are. Don't mince your words or anything like that. But when you're talking about, transgender woman, it's a man, you just put a wig on it and that's an instant attraction. Anybody can put a wig on it.
I hear you saying. Let me address that real quick when I say that. So when I say transgender woman is a man put with a wig on, I mean, let's go through what transgender woman is. A transgender woman is a man, right? Who goes through, does this mean when you're transgender, explain it to me. Does that mean that you have gone, does that mean you have gone through some type of chemicals or taken some pills?
Okay, so
hormones?
Being transgender, you feel on the inside that your outside does not match the inside, right?
Okay.
So there is this process. It's not an overnight process. It's a process of going through lots of therapy, doctors counselling you, checking whether this is an actual thing, and then putting through processes of probably going on to what hormones they need. And after a certain period of time on the hormones, if they still want to go through, then they'll go through with having different types of surgeries like laser treatment to remove hair and electrolysis to also remove hair. Some works better than others. And then further to that, they will explore with different types of dress, with different types of hairstyles, whether that be removing their own hair or wearing a wig temporarily to grow out their own hair and to feel more feminine and feel more like themselves.
Right.
And most of these people put themselves at great risk because of what they're doing with if they're in already an established family, because that was what is expected of them. And they're putting all of this out there. And then at some point they'll go through the surgery, and that's a big major step to go from to have all that removed and have it inverted and then put because to be fair, right, when you're doing transgender surgery and it's on a male, they take off your penis, let's just be frank about it, and they take the skin and invert it and make it into a vagina, more or less.
So when you're transgender, are you saying that they don't have a penis anymore?
Once they go through the surgery.
So not all transgender people have gone through the surgery, right?
Yeah,
Not
it's a
all of them.
process.
No. It's a process.
Okay.
It's hormone therapy
So-
or testosterone therapy when you're talking about women transiting into men as
Mhm.
well. I mean, would you see it the different way if he was attracted to transgender men instead of transgender women?
I don't know how he would be attracted to a woman that wants to be a man. You're saying it would be different if he was attracted to women
No,
that
she's
turn into men?
asking if you would see it differently.
Would I see it? Would I see? No, me personally, because when I'm saying it, I'm saying it like this. I'm saying that when you say it's like he's saying I'm attracted to transgender women, the fact that that woman used to be a man, I believe, is what attracts him to that person. Now he could say that if that was the case, because if not, he would just say I'm attracted to women, and if that woman happened to be transgender, then so be it. I'm attracted to women. But the fact that he's specifically saying that I'm attracted to transgender women, the trans in the beginning, that means you're attracted to a man who turned himself into a woman. So I think that the fact that person was a man is one of the reasons why he was attracted to him. That's what I'm saying about it. I think that there's a reason why he was attracted to this person. And the fact that person was a man at one time, not saying it's a man now, but at one time identified themselves as a man, meaning that they have man features, right? So women have different types of hips, right? They have different bone structures. There's no surgery that you're going to get your hips like a woman like that, because that's just the way it's intended. That's the way it's born. There's nothing you can do. As I said, if you're a man and you have humongous hands like a lot of men do, there's no surgery that's going to take them hands and make them into lady hands. You could take pills to make your voice a little bit more feminine, and you can do the electronics just to remove the hair and everything else and make you feel like, but there's certain features of a man that you're still going to have. That's why I think that it's not right. Say if a trans woman wants to compete with other women in sports, I think that's an advantage that person would have over normal women.
Catherine Harden makes a good point here. Trans doesn't mean for transition. I think it actually means for transcending one's own self. Like I've had transgender friends. I've had interactions and relations with transgender people, and it takes a lot of good time and understanding. So that's why I'm kind of stressing here to the full understanding of that. I think what you're getting at for Malik's
is
the lack of honesty. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yes, I think he's trying to say that he's attracted to trans women, but without trying to be a part of the community, but not trying to fully go in because he still thinks there's a stigma about him getting made fun of or something. So he's putting one foot in, but not both feet in. And I think if he was going to come out, he should just come out and say, listen, this is what I like. This is what it's about. And then that's it. And leave me alone. And I don't care. You know what I mean?
Like the asterisk next to his statement saying, but I'm not this.
Yeah, because as soon as he says, I'm not gay, I'm not this, you're basically, you're trying to take yourself, you're putting yourself in, but you're trying to take yourself out. You know what I mean? So, and in the black community, listen, black people's mean, man, right? We mean. We'll make fun of motherfuckers, man. We'll make fun of motherfuckers till they kill themselves. And that's the truth. That's what black people get down. They do it, and it shouldn't be like that. You know what I mean?
I know my
black
friend,
people do that shit. You know, there's no doubt about it. And I think that most transgender women that get killed, which is a disgusting thing, are by black men. And I think it's black transgender women that get killed is by black men.
There's also a sort of like masculinity problem where they've been taught to be a certain way, and anything that's different from them, which is due to their ignorance, causes such anger and rage because this person's being who they actually are. Do you know what I mean?
I do, and I think he shouldn't feel that way because he's a big motherfucker. He'll beat your ass. Listen, this is a 50-year-old man. He'll fuck you up. Anyone think they could step to that dude? Step to that dude. You think because he's sleeping with transgender women, he can't whoop your ass? That man will whoop your ass, man. That man's in good shape. He's a big dude, man. He's from New York. He's not playing around. Right. So he should not feel that way. I mean, that brings me back to that movie in Philadelphia. If you ever seen Philadelphia with Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington, and Denzel Washington is inside he's inside a grocery store, and this black dude hits on him. And then he calls, he says, what the fuck you hitting on me for? You think I want you fucking faggot? I'll kick your ass. And the guy goes, you think you can kick my ass? Do you really think you can kick my ass? Because, yo, you think because this dude is gay, he'll beat you. Don't think he won't whip your ass, man. That's a man who beat the shit out of you. You know what I mean?
That's a stigma that a lot of people forget. These are still men. And chances are they've been tested. One of my good friends that's on here, Maddie Rance. Yeah, just because you're gay does not mean you can't fight. Because half the time you grow up actually having to, more so than others. Exactly. So don't get it twisted, and don't just let people be them. Seriously, if it's not for you, that's cool. You don't need to associate with them if you don't want to.
I like to also point
out, don't need for all the hate. It's just so ridiculous all around.
I think we should also point out that probably as a kind of team discussing this, we are kind of sort of inequipped because we don't actually have that kind of person here to kind of discuss that with us.
Yeah, Catherine actually is the one that should be on here.
Yeah, Catherine
she legit lives that life.
Yeah, Catherine Harden should totally be on here discussing this because I'm probably not best equipped for that.
Yeah, even being in the community like we are, yeah, we're not that's not our specific set. So I know some things, but I definitely do not know all the ins and outs like Catherine would.
Me either. I don't know nothing really about it, to tell you. I just know what he's saying, and I'm basing all my statements on him and what he's saying. And what I'm saying about him is that he needs to be 100% with it. If you're going to come out, and I don't even want to say like come out. It's not a come out. You know what I mean? I don't really like that term, come out. If you're just going to live your life, live your truth. Let's put it like that. Then live your truth. Don't be on both sides of the fence. Because I really don't think that helps what you're trying to do. It just makes it look like a publicity stunt. It just makes it look like you're trying to get views. It looks like you're trying to get some attention, but you ain't willing to take the whatever heat comes your way, and you shouldn't have to. But whatever heat you feel is going to come your way, it seems like you ain't willing. You don't want to take that. You know what I mean? So you're trying to say, I'm attracted to transgender women, but I ain't gay. All right, so don't be calling me gay. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like no gay man. Like looking at you as a gay man would be something wrong to look at you as.
I mean, there is some comments in the chat about, it's you can have totally be straight and be attracted to a woman with penis, more or less. There's a lot of people agreeing with that, not saying that you are gay.
I mean, really, when it comes to just like the simple act of sex itself, let's take all the labels and whatnots out of it. When it comes to the simple act, some people just like random things that other people think that they shouldn't. It's just a thing. Honestly, the physical act of it. Some dudes like, random shit going by the butt. Other dudes don't like that.
I wouldn't say real quick. I didn't date this chick, but I'll say I was seeing this chick at one particular time, and I went to a crib, and while I was at her crib, she had on a strap on. And I was like, what do you have, a girlfriend? And she was like, no, me and my ex-man, he would like me to do this to him. And I was like, really? And she was like, yeah, this was what they and I was like, that your first dude? She was like, no, and to tell you the truth, I've done this to many men. So, that's just what it is.
Well, actual physical act, yes. Some people just like all of the extra.
A lot of men like being a bit submissive, like being taken care of in that way, instead of being the dominant male, always putting in like the effort and the push and the pull. They like a little bit of like from behind and a little reach around and things like that, where it is that kind of higher form of intimacy for them. It's not the norm per se.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, but if they like it, hey.
A lot of people have a fantasy they want to fulfill, or just like pretty things. Everyone's form or perception of beauty is different, and we're all attracted to different things. Whether that makes us one thing or the other. Like, I've always known that I've been bi, because like I think AK's stunning, but I also think you're stunning, and like that's just who I am.
I'm pretty.
Everybody, so
But I would say, listen to right of Vanessa's thing. He's not doing his publicity. He said himself in the Roots video interview he did that he did it for publicity. So he did do it.
Okay, so he said that out of his mouth. Okay, well then that's shitty.
That came right out of his mouth that he did it for. If you look at the Roots video that he just did the interview for, he said he did it for publicity, and he said that the fact that he was famous was a way to get awareness to this cause, and that's why he said it. You know what I mean? So he did do it for publicity, and he did do it because he was famous. Now, in the beginning, he claimed he did it because there was this guy who was on this people caught him on their camera, and he was telling people that he liked to fuck transgender chicks, and people made fun of him. Then the guy died of a drug overdose, and they tried to claim that he committed suicide, but now it turns out he really didn't commit suicide. He just died from a drug overdose. But they tried to use that as a reason, and he said that was the reason why he came out. Then he came out again and said, "Well, I did it for publicity to bring awareness to people who don't get awareness to." And that's what he said. He definitely did do it for publicity. He did it for people to talk about. So that's what I'm talking about. So when people say, "Well, why are you talking about?" This is why I'm talking about it. Because
he's slightly sketchy, but meh. If his reasoning and the way he worded it makes it a bit sketchy to me, anyway. But regardless of which, like I said, dude liked what he liked. If he's not breaking any laws with the other people that he's sleeping with, it ain't hurting me one bit.
It ain't hurt nobody. I think I said he could do what he wants. The NYDA says so. He's not attracted to men, just women, regardless of their sexual organs. He's not gender gay. I don't know if I could go with that. I think that he might be, and he's just fronting and not saying that he is. So I think he could be attracted to men, and he doesn't want to come out and say he's attracted to men. So he just says he's attracted to a transsexual, because I would have to think, I don't know if it was, if you're a transsexual person, and I think I've seen some beautiful transsexual women out there, beautiful ones. That there's no way, especially these Puerto Rican ones, right? These Puerto Rican men,
some of them was
man. These damn Puerto Rican men be looking just like women, man.
That's fact.
100%.
My uncle has told me so many stories where he got caught up talking. Then, he never had a problem with it. That's just not his stilo. That's not what he's attracted to. So once he found out, of course, he just backed off. But he was like, yeah, there's so many times I got caught up with, and he's also a New Yorker like me and Tone. And yeah, and when you live in a place like New York, we run into all of that. We have everybody in our streets.
We got a question here for Lauren, straight for you, Lauren. It says, I am straight but hooked up with women years back, and am I bisexual now with all those labels? So this is the person saying that they're straight, but they have hooked up with women years back. Am I bisexual now? Go ahead, that's your question.
It's specifically up to you, right? I've always known I'm bi ever since I was really young, and that's just something that's always been a part of me. Whether I've acted on it or I've not, that's who I am. In regards to yourself, that's up to you. I can't say whether you are or not, because I do not know the ins and outs of your relationship with like women and what your terms of hooked up is. Did you have sex? Did you just kiss? Did you go on a couple of dates? Did you like do all these things? I mean, it's down to yourself. I just know who I am.
And if you want to say what you did, please, we'll be happy to listen.
If you want to give a very detailed occurrence of all the things that happened, we're here to listen. We're here to help.
And as for the labels, I mean, they're a part of life. Unfortunately, that's just how this world is being factored out and how we differentiate ourselves. We want to be unique, but we don't want to be stigmatized. We don't want to be put in a certain demographic, but we are essentially. And it's a really hard conversation to have when you're like, oh, but I don't want to be this, but I am this, and I am this, and and you want to put your flagpole in somewhere, you know what I mean? Forgive the pun, by the way. But it's you are what you are. I know who I am. Do you know who you are? And if you're willing to admit that and be honest as to what Tony was saying, like, we'd rather have the person be honest rather than use it for publicity or a certain amount of coverage or to create discussion, what it certainly fucking has. In this case, I don't know. I don't know how to do with the labels. I just know who I am, and that's my way forward. If those change, fair enough. But I've been called many names over my lifetime, and none of them have really stuck all that well. But as long as you get the kind of core part of who you are, I mean, go with it. If you occasionally sleep with women and you still consider yourself straight, fair enough, cool.
Yeah, that's on you.
The odd threesome happens, the odd orgy happens. There will be some sort of intermingling of different sexes or multiple sexes or gender fluid, sexist, whatever there is, just essentially just have fun and just be yourself, more or less.
I think a lot of this stuff happens. It comes, especially to deal with men dealing with this gay situation or whatever. I think it happens. A lot of this happens in the jail system. When you get the download dudes, the banshee boys. These dudes who they go to prison. These dudes who are thugs and they go to prisons, but they do stuff with men in prison. And then they come out of jail saying, "Oh, I ain't gay, I ain't this," but you were willing to do everything you did while you were in prison. You know what I mean? I think that, and then they come out in the prison, and when they do come out in prison, they realize that they like that. So now they can't go around their homies, because they thugged out, and they can't say what happened to them or what they were doing in prison. You know what I mean, or anything like that. So they have to go on the DL with it. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of dudes like that.
There's also instances of porn stars who are basically going gay for pay. Like, that's no matter who you are, and just like, oh, you want extra money, you'll need to do this to the next thing. But you're still straight, As the same for prison stuff, you're doing, like, I'm not really 100% in the info with the whole prison gayness thing, but most people I am aware of, or at least from what I've learned, do it as a means to survive, as a means to get by, as a means to satisfy specific urges, regardless of where those things are being put. You make do with what you have at the time.
See, I don't know about that, because if I was in prison for a long time, that would not happen to me. I could tell you that straight up. Listen, I could tell you straight up, if I'm in jail, that I'm not never. I'll never. This is not my style. It's just not for me. So I think the people that do that have that inside of them before they get in there. And now that no one's around, that they know, they're able to express themselves the way they truly want to express themselves. That's what I think it is, So I personally wouldn't do it no matter what. It's just not happening. It's just not for me. You know what I mean? So I think that those people that are in there that do run that's who they was. That's who they was before they got there. And in prison, they could be a little freer because they people ain't around. And that's why they go on the down low. Like, listen, there's mad dudes out there who are like that. You know what I mean? In the music industry right now, you know what I mean? That are like that in the entertainment industry. And Liz Taylor, before she passed away a long time, when she did an interview, she said that she suspected that over 90% of the men in Hollywood were gay, and the most actors are gay, because in order to act that way and to get in touch with your femininity side, you have to be gay. You have to be a little more ladylike in order to pull off these roles and stuff. And I 100% agree with it. I think a lot of these actors are gay, but they're closeted and they're not able to express themselves. I mean, we've heard rumors about people like Eddie Murphy and Johnny Gill, situations like that. I've always heard.
Stop Eddie Murphy from having a whole boatload of kids, did it?
No, it didn't stop him. But, he was caught with transgender women, in cars, and he I was just giving them a ride home and staying in his limo and picking them up and things like that. So I just think that people have to act a certain way, for their image, and it's just not them being real. You know what I mean? And I think that's what it is. I think that people should just be real about what it is and stuff like that. I mean, they should be able to just be yourself. Don't worry about what people judge you on. That you got to live your life the way you live it, and that's it. And just be happy, but just don't come out half-assed with it, and then try to say you this way, and then say I'm not that way. So don't look at me like that. You know what I mean? Because that you basically dissing gay people when you say it. And these are people you trying to say, I look at them as window, but don't you be calling me gay. I ain't gay. So it's weird. It's a dicey situation. Everyone's gonna feel the way they want to say, but I just don't know. Sailor Diva, she says the best. People just don't feel safe being themselves. Put that up on the board.
Yeah, that's a fact for a lot of people.
I'm loving actually the conversation between Sailor Diva and Catherine Harding right now.
Those are like the two experts. Honestly, like I wish we could have them on, because Catherine, like we said, she is trans, and Sailor Diva, I believe she said it was she has a trans daughter, I believe it earlier. So yeah, those are the people that are in the life. And like Sailor, she said she got an education having to try to help her child through that, and then learn herself also. So I'm loving the conversation with these two. And real quick, shout out to my man LT Giles in the chat. I haven't seen you in a while.
LT's in the building. What up, LT Giles up in the building? You know what I mean? Listen, as she said, look, people are being murdered every day. Yes, there are. And I know that people will say stuff like, "Hey, I murdered that person because they lied to me. They didn't tell me that." That's not a reason. That's not justifiable. All right. Just because someone didn't tell you what you felt that they needed to tell you, that's no justification for murdering somebody. All right. You don't murder. It doesn't matter if that person lied to you about whatever they lied to you about. There ain't no justification for murdering somebody. You don't murder someone because of that. You could walk away. You could curse them out and say, "You motherfucker this, you motherfucker that," and be out the door.
And be done with it. Right.
You don't take somebody's life for that. It's not justification. That's not a defense. That doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the way I see it like that. I'm sure people, like I said, that they're born a certain way and they feel a different way. They feel like, hey, I was born the wrong sex, and they feel that way, and that's what they true. Because listen, it's not anyone who feels that way and does that. It's not something easy for people. This is not something that they don't have. It's not like they're doing it and they're gonna have an easy life out of it, right? You're doing it. You're gonna have a really hard life. That's what I told my daughter when she told me that she was gay. I said, listen, you have every strike against you right now. Number one, you're black. Strike one. You're a woman. Strike two. Now you're gay. Strike three. They can't give you any more strikes. I said,
my life.
If you're gonna be willing to accept all that and put that on your shoulders and deal with that, then live your life. And I want you to be happy, but understand that you have 3 strikes against you right now, starting off, and that's just what it is, and that's just the truth.
Yeah, this might be a good time to mention Pose. Have you ever watched Pose?
Oh, dude, Pose is everything. Oh my goodness,
an education in itself.
Watching that show and Ryan Murphy, he does good shows. Period. Glee, American Horror Story, popular back in the day. Pose, I think, is one of the best shows that he's worked on, and he stays very true. He's also in the LGBT community, and the writers for that show, they have a great team, and they bring everything from the ballroom culture in New York from the 80s and 90s into this show, and it's a great representation and a great education for anyone that doesn't know that too much about that life. It's groundbreaking. And I hope it wins some awards because it's.
What is this show?
Pose.
Pose.
I've never seen it. I never watched Pose, but I would definitely. I'm sorry. Let me pause that right there, real quick. But no, I had never seen it and anything else like that. So no, I I would definitely take a look at it.
It's definitely a show to watch. Like, even for myself, it was an education, more than an education for that matter. And I already had like a good education with, at least when it comes to transgender and things like that, with my friend that I had a couple of years back, and a few other people that I've known, and also about the community in general and how it's evolved, at least within the United States, of how it's put in the TV show. And it's opened a lot of kind of eyes and things for me to look at and maybe change. And I've constantly kept in contact with AK. It was AK that got me to watch it, and I think everybody should watch it, no matter where they lie, anywhere
on the spectrum. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's great television. It's great drama, and it brings a lot of true life right in front of your face.
I'm seeing this question here from, I can't pronounce this name. I put it up on the board and said, I don't know if this is true or not. I'm just wondering, is this what really happens? A guy reports a case saying he was deceived. Now trans woman is in jail. Is that what happens? Does that happen? If you,
I don't know if they're talking about a specific case, but I have heard of cases like that. Yes.
Hey, I don't know if that's a justifiable. I mean, what would you be in jail for?
It depends if there was like a fight or something like that.
Yeah, it depends on what exactly the altercation was. If it was heavy enough, and a lot of judges unfortunately have prejudices themselves, so that always tends to weigh in, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's fucked up. I mean, I don't think you should go to jail for that. There's no reason. And I would think that if someone is with a transgender person, that it would take them, probably some time to get used to them before they could come out right and tell you. you know, because I'm sure that people getting murdered. So they're probably scared to come out and tell people right off the bat, you know what I mean, and everything else. Probably easier said than done, and especially if you're feeling somebody and you're not sure if that person's feeling you at the time. You know, kind of like if you make a certain amount of money and you lying about it, and the chick think you make a certain amount of money and you into her and she's into you, you don't want to tell her that you really work for a bagel shop. You know, you don't want to come in and say nothing like that because you're scared you're gonna get left. You know what I mean? So I would think that it could be a situation like that and all that.
Better
you know?
work in a bagel shop than have no job.
It is, but some people look at that like, I can't fuck with you. You work in the bagel shop. You know, a lot of people who treat you like that.
Yeah.
You know, people,
or if you just like a bagger at the grocery store, you know, people don't have issues with that. Like my boy from the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
I forget,
Roberto.
his name.
No, he played
Sandra's husband, wasn't it?
Husband. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
He works at Walmart now, and people were giving him flack because he used to be a celebrity, but now he works at Walmart. Who the fuck cares? That man is honest living and has a job, and he's taking care of his family. So what? He works at Walmart. We mad because he has a job?
And he got a job. There ain't nothing to get mad about if you have a job. That's just the way I said. As long as you're doing your thing, that's the way it should be. You know what I mean? That's what it is. You know, as long as you ain't out there doing, you know, listen, I know chicks straight up, you know what I mean, who only dating drug dealers. Straight up. If you ain't,
because that's hustling, the life that they're attracted to. Yeah.
If you ain't hustling, they ain't fucking.
Life's more of a transactional kind of life more than anything, or like a natural relationship or anything, because they're with them for one, the money, two, that because they're perceived a bad boy, and you know they got free access to drugs and whatever they really want. You know, even though the downside to that is probably much more than the upside. Like sometimes you're just like, nah, bugger it, I'm in this, so whatever.
Yeah, nice chicks, they be in there. They just like, it's exciting to them. You know, it's exciting to have. You know, it's cool when you have a man. I'll tell you the story, and this dead ass happened. Dead ass. I'm not gonna say the people's names. I swear to God, this truly happened. There was this one dude I used to hang out with. And he robbed the biggest drug dealer around my way. I ain't gonna say his name because I ain't fucking with that dude.
That's dangerous.
This dude was like everything you ever imagine a drug dealer to be. He was. He wore a bulletproof vest before anyone had a bulletproof vest before. I seen him stomp people unconscious. He had really good hands. He'll fuck you up and he shoots you in the face. And he was just not playing around. He was that type of dude. And this dude robbed this guy. And he was hiding out this girl's house. This dude drug dealer found out my man was hiding out his house. He broke in this chick's house, beat him down, put him in the hospital. And after he broke into this chick's house, the chick was so turned on by it, she started dating him.
That's not surprising.
And she was with him for like 2 years. I mean, this the dude who came into your crib with guns out. You never met him before. Kicked your door in, all right? Beat the dude you was letting hide out in your crib, and then you wind up dating the dude for 2 years.
That's the life some people are attracted to.
I mean, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? That's nuts. That really dead ass happened. You know what I mean? So people around my way, if they'll listen, they know exactly what we're talking about.
I don't think that can be considered Stockholm syndrome. She wasn't held hostage. Nothing happened to her.
Nothing happened.
That's not Stockholm. That's just her attraction.
Like for me, hearing this is extra crazy. Not like I've not known any part of the drug dealership over here. It's just a little bit less. It's a little more toned down here than anywhere else. Most of the time, you'll get your legs broken if you don't pay your dues, your money, and if you've got stuff on tick or whatever. And you always stupid people buy on tick. They should always pay you your cash. You know what I mean? That's just how the way it goes. But like, I think women. I would like to think that women here are a bit more maybe sane when it comes to that sort of thing. But I can't fully say that. I mean, I've known some lassies that have been with drug dealers for quite some time, but it's not turned out really, really well for them. But I can see how one person can go from, oh, well, you just got beat out by this guy. I'm going to go for the champion now. So bye.
Yeah, but she wasn't fucking with him or anything like that. She was just hiding him out because she knew him. Like we all know him, you know what I mean? He would need a place to hide out. She was just high in the mountain. She didn't expect this dude. I tell these people, this dude, I'm saying he's anything you've ever thought of a drug dealer to be, he was. He's out of all the people I ever knew around my life or anything else. If you told him a drug dealer, this dude was that, man. I'm talking, he was. I'm saying this to this day. I'm not even bringing dude's name up because I don't want no problem with this dude. Right. I don't want no problem with this dude at this particular time of life because I know exactly what it would come down to. Is he's gonna come down to I'll have to shoot him and go to jail for the rest of my life, and he's gonna shoot me, and that's just the bottom line. Because that's how he's not playing, and that's just it. Even at this extent his age, I'm sure he's not playing at all. You know what I mean? This is just what he was. I mean, when we were younger, he was a terrorist. I remember one time he didn't even hustle weed, and my man L was hustling weed, and he came to the park and shit like that, and we was smoking. And then he said, he's like, yo, can I get some of that, L? And he was like, yeah. L starts smoking with him. He's like, this is good shit, man. You making good money on that? L's like, yeah, I'm making pretty good money on that. He's like, how much you making on that? He's like, oh, I'm doing about $800 a week. He said, really? That's great. Let's say you give me $600 for you allowing you to sell this.
Should have seen that coming.
Just like that.
You should have seen that shit coming. If you from the block like we from the block, he should have seen that shit coming.
Pay him. He had nothing to do with it. He had nothing to do. He said, you with me allowing you to sell, you gonna pay me 6 of your 8, and you get to keep.
This is my hood. You're gonna pay your dues, or you out.
Now that is a businessman, right? That's my area. You're paying me the rent.
That was the way it is. And all the time you see L, you should see him. L would just take off. Whoosh. Rob. I almost said his name. He's coming. Whoosh. He would just take off. Ooh, start run away. Every time he just run away. Whoosh, and just be out.
So since we're kind of on this tangent about criminality and whatnot, right? What's the deal with this? Is it Tech 6ix9ine being a
Tekashi? Yeah, Tekashi snitching on everybody. Tekashi think he's fucking Bran Stark right now. He's telling all the tea.
Yeah,
I saw that headline. I was like, the instant thing that came into my brain was don't snitches get stitches or something like that.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure he's gonna catch some hands once he actually gets to the block.
Well, they already kidnapped his ass once, and they got it on videotape of him getting kidnapped. Dudes already grabbed him up, kidnapped him at gunpoint, threw him in the car. He was lucky to survive that. He could have got murked right then. He was lucky to survive that. But this is it. When you are hanging it with people, right? When you hanging with a certain element of people, and that's why I tell people, like, people always like, oh, I don't never want to live in New York City. It's too violent. It's like, it's not violent. I know the people who are 80 pounds who've never had any problem in their life. When you put yourself in that situation, when you hang with certain people, then you're in that lifestyle. People don't just go after you because they see you. It's possible that anyone can get robbed and mugged anywhere you live in the world, without a doubt. But when you're dealing with drug dealers, it's because you're dealing with drug dealers. If you're not dealing with gang members don't mess with you. It's when you are in that lifestyle. So when he put himself in that lifestyle, and then he had these dudes shooting for him, and he had beef, and he was calling hits on people, other rappers. Yo, I want you to get this dude. This dude needs to be super violated. He needs to be super violated. And they was doing that to them. What you think, it wasn't going to come back to you? You in that.
Exactly.
It's going to come back to you, and you were never built like that. You know what I mean? If you ain't built like that, you shouldn't be in that lifestyle. You shouldn't be trying to even portray to be in that lifestyle. You should have just made your songs and kept it moving. And it's still fucked up because the dude, they had it all in 1 year. They was rich as fuck, and now in 1 year they lost everything. In a year, 1 year they were living the life. Now they all behind bars in 1 year.
Yeah,
I've never really listened to this guy's songs, but I've seen pictures of him and went, you're not a rapper. You're not a long-term, legitimate source of like good music.
A lot of them are just showboats now.
Like
he was working like a grocery store making sandwiches. You know, he's like, yeah, that's what he was. He was like a clerk making sandwiches in a deli department or something like that. He was making sandwiches for people, and then dudes seen him and said, you got a certain look, we think we could make you a star. And it worked. And that was it. It worked. And he
also says a lot about the culture we're in right now. Like, oh, look, sandwich shop boy, we're going to give you some face tats, we're going to give you some multicolored hair, we'll maybe get you to say Gucci Gang like 100 billion times and maybe make a record out of it. Boom, done. And everyone just soaks that up. and this is where he is now. Like, just, and it's funny watching Cardi B on Twitter, like get going mental when after hearing this, because he's been, I think he's been totally listening to, she's been finding out that he's been like running his mouth and whatnot. And I mean, I don't know how to put this.
Taking a nap or going night-night? All right, see you in a couple hours.
Good night, roommate.
Lauren says good night.
Yeah, you know, it's just the way it be, and that's the way you get caught up in the game, man. You know, I would say when I was rapping and I was rolling with people and stuff like that, my people, the Bleach Brothers and stuff, and they was doing their thing. We had beef. We used to have to bring the jizz right to the studio with us all the time. We used to have that on us all the time in the studio, because dudes would run up in the studio and try to get you and rob you. And they were dudes who specifically look for rappers and rob you in the studio. You know what I mean? And we would bring that out there with us, waiting just in case somebody would come in, because they think all of a sudden, because you rapping, you got dough, or you wearing jewelry, or you trying to make it look. And dudes would just be waiting for, like, all right, this is a popular studio. We're gonna wait for these dudes to walk in. Whoever coming there, we coming through the door, and we robbing everybody in the studio. And that's why. So we used to wait on that, wait for people. Now, luckily, nothing ever jumped off, and no one ever came at us like that. But we used to have to fucking do that all the time. You know what I mean? All the time, we used to go in there. And what were we trying to do? Make music? You ever think that the goddamn Beatles had to bring a Gat with them when they went to the goddamn studio? You ever see Michael Jackson had to bring a Gat with him? Any country singer had to bring a Gat with him? But all of a sudden, if you're a rapper, you got to bring a Gat with you because dudes is out to rob you just for trying to make some damn music?
Do you think that's probably due to the fact of, like, maybe during the 90s, I don't mean to besmirch the memory of Tupac or Biggie or anything like that, just that kind of whole era where it was like East Coast versus West Coast, or is it just a kind of gang culture that's in the States as it is?
Dudes is just violent and ruthless. They're trying to make a buck. And it's
by any means possible.
This is what it is. I'll tell you exactly what it is. I used to deal with a lot of different races. I used to deal with a lot of dudes who were in the Korean mafia, right? Straight up. And they were Fu Chang people. I'll never mention their names, but they were in dead ass Korean mafia, Fu Chang. They never robbed anyone but other Korean people. They only fuck with other Korean people. When they did extortions for stores and they went in the stores and they walk into the Korean store and they would hand them a little envelope, and I watched them do it of cash and they walk out, it was only Korean stores they would do it to. They never messed with Chinese stores. They never messed with Japanese stores. And the Chinese people, all the white dragons, they only mess with Chinese people. So when you're dealing with rappers, you're dealing with black people. It's mostly black people. So the black people are coming to rob the other black people. And when it comes down to black people robbing black people, that makes the news more than the Korean people. Because usually Korean people, when they rob, they give it up and it doesn't make the news. Black people are extremely violent. So when they come in, they not only just gonna come in and pull the gun, they're gonna pistol whip you with the gun. They're gonna grab you. I mean, look, they robbed Queen Latifah. They dragged her in Harlem, pulled her out of her car, jacked her for dudes from Rockaway, pulled her out of her car, threw her on the floor, took her car. And I remember them driving Queen Latifah's car around the hood. Yup. Or having
I remember hearing about that.
And they had Queen Latifah's whip.
Yeah, because Tifa from the block too. So once she started getting big, that put her on the radar.
No doubt about it. That's just the way it is. So when you're dealing with black people, you're gonna have now the white people they do most crimes. White people, they do commit against other white people, but it just don't go to that extremes. You're not gonna see no white people say, "Hey, let's go to the studio and rob country western singers." You know why? Because they're not wearing jewelry. Black people in the black culture, you got to have all this jewelry.
Like the floss.
You got to have all this stuff. So to me, like when you wear all this stuff, to me, that's an invitation. It's like you throwing it in somebody's face. Look what the fuck I got, and you ain't got it. So when you get that mentality, look at what I got, you ain't got it. Dude's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'll take your shit, nigga. Now what? Yeah. I'll take yours. I ain't got it, but I'll take yours off of you." And that's why before in the rap music, it was like you robbing dudes. It was like a big thing to get a death row chain. Rob somebody from death row because they got those death row chains. Rob that chain and rock that chain around like, "Yeah, I just robbed this dude from death row." What? You know what I mean? So it's just that. If country western singers was rocking gold like that, then they would have been getting robbed too.
Listen, I don't think anyone has the balls to actually rob Dolly Parton. Like, do you honestly think anyone in their right mind or insane mind would think, yeah, it's a good idea to rob Dolly Parton? No, because even if you did, she'd still write like a new, like 10 or so new albums about it and be just as rich as she was by the time you robbed her. Like, and everybody would hate you. But then again, that comes back with, like, I don't know, jokes aside, like the whole kind of difference between the culture as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Black
that plays a
people,
part.
when you're growing up with nothing, right? And a lot of black people grow up. Now, I grew up in a really nice neighborhood in Queens. Like, I grew up in an upper middle class neighborhood in Queens. You know what I mean? So, and even in my neighborhood, it was rough. It was so when my cousins used to come from Marcy Projects over to my way, they used to love it because they'd be like, "Oh my God, you got grass to play in," because they didn't even have no grass. And they used to be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you could play tackle football out here and everything else." But when I used to go over to their house in Marcy Projects over there, every time out there was a shooting. Every time I was out there, we all had to run inside. Bah, 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 bah. We have to run inside and everything else and all that. That's the way it was. So I used to be around the gangster people, around my cousins, but I used to go back around my way where it was still lit, but it wasn't as lit it was over there. You know, it could happen to you, stuff could happen, but it just wouldn't happen to you the way it would happen. Like around my way, you get beat up. You know what I mean? If you around my hood, dudes will beat you up. They'll beat you with brass knuckles. They'll beat you with a bat. You know what I mean? And they'll put mace on you and they do that. Around my cousins where you're getting shot.
Hey, yo, highlight Nida's comment for me real quick, please. That Nida, she said Jolene would rob Dolly Parton and steal her man. Jolene. That's a good damn song, man. Dolly had some chops back in the day, boy.
She still got some chops.
Credit where credit is due, man. Like I don't listen to a lot of country, but there's some of them out there with so much talent that they put out songs that everybody can enjoy. I love Dolly. Reba's one of my favorites also. Garth Brooks had a couple good hits.
Oh my God, Garth Brooks.
Music is everything to me. I never stuck myself in just one box. I always like hearing everything.
Yeah, that's the way music should be. You shouldn't be. You shouldn't just sit there and say, "I only listen to this, I only listen to that." There's good songs in every genre. It's all about what connects to you. The way to me, it's like if something connects to me, it is what it is. I tell you, a country song I like that has nothing to do with anything. I like that song, but I just like it. I just love it. That song, I put my keys into the side of his pretty little souped up 4-wheel drive. Bang my. Put my knife into his leather seats. I put a Louisville slugger through both headlights. That's what you get for cheating. That shit. I like that song. I forgot who sings that song. I don't know who sings that song, but whoever sings that song, I like that song. I like it because she fucks this dude's car right up for cheating on him and shit like that. Carrie Underwood. Catherine says that's Carrie Underwood song. I like that.
Okay.
I like
Carrie
that.
Underwood's sexy.
I like that song because that chick ain't having it. She just like, this, you cheat on me, this is what you get. And there's a lot of crazy chicks out there that would do that shit to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's it. So it is what it is and stuff like that. So I like that. So it's all about what you're feeling. You know, and
it just sucks. Because being our color and growing up, sometimes you get made fun of a lot. Like I got made fun of so much for liking Guns N' Roses and like Poison and Nelson growing up. Like, yeah, okay, fuck you. I'm still gonna listen to what I'm gonna listen to.
Take Me to the Jungle's an ill song, man. That's an ill song. Take Me to the Jungle. I'm telling you,
that song still gets played now. That will forever be on everybody's playlist.
That's an ill song. I'll tell you,
hell yeah.
I was in the Boxing Hall of Fame, and Mike Tyson was there, and they had a karaoke thing going on there, and he got up there and he was singing fucking "Living on a Prayer" by Bon Jovi. I'm talking on his knees. Mike Tyson, this is Mike Tyson. Take my hand, I tell you, I swear. Mike Tyson going bananas or Living on a Prayer.
Because that was the fucking cut, man.
Going bananas. It was crazy. It was so funny. Like he was on his knees. He got on his knees and was singing, bending all backward. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. You know. But,
I mean, if you're feeling it and then the inside, you might as well show it on the outside while you're singing. Do you know that?
Oh, he was doing it, but he was doing this thing. Mike was not playing around with that. You know what I mean? But that's what it is. You know what I mean? If something hits you, it don't matter what your color. So music is music. Music has no color. It
And
just
that
hits you.
reminds me, I still got to get my damn clips together from the con because I want to let people know the voice that this young lady right here has. Because I caught her singing karaoke at the Wild Beaver.
That probably wasn't the best choice at the time, but it was.
Still sounded good.
It did sound really good. It sounded really good. I don't know what you're gonna do next year in Florida. How hot it's gonna be out there. You best be prepared because it's gonna be hella hot.
Man, I ain't gonna be there next year.
Hella, you're not gonna be there?
I can't fly, and Florida is way too far to drive.
Oh damn! You have to drive down.
That's too far, bro. It's like a whole 2 days worth of driving.
24 hours. 24 hours straight.
Okay, keep in mind, I'm not the one that would be driving though. My girl will be driving. I'm sure she don't want to be on the road for 24 hours. That's
13 hours. You take a break, go to bed, and wake up, and next day you there.
Can you not take the train down, like take Amtrak?
You can take an Amtrak down there.
I don't think Amtrak connects all the way through there, and I know there's no Amtrak in Columbus, so we'd have to go.
You could take an Amtrak to Washington and take Washington all the way down. You can take an Amtrak to North Carolina and go down from North Carolina to Florida because my daughter took a train from North Carolina to Florida. So you can take one or one to the other. So let's not hear those damn excuses, AK. Get your ass down there.
Yeah, okay, yeah. You tell the almost misses that and work that out with her. I ain't pushing my luck. I know we'll be at Austin FireCon. I know that though.
If you keep protesting enough, aka Tony will just pay for the tickets. It will just be like, here's
I'll have no choice but to pay for the tickets.
I mean, if you want to, I can put a bug in her ear. I can't say that she'll agree. That's all I'm saying.
I got to get you.
It's not looking good for the home team. AK's got to get her citizenship.
We got a long time to go. Don't worry about it. We got a long time.
Yeah, we'll see. A year creeps up pretty quick.
Are you going to the Song of Ice and FireCon?
Yeah, we'll be at Ice and FireCon. So yeah, that's only a half hour away. That's easy.
So that's where is it at?
It's like 30 minutes from Columbus, just outside of Columbus.
All right. So that's your real con, really. Is a Song of Ice and FireCon.
Yeah, I did go in there. It's a lot smaller, more intimate setting. But it also affords you the chance to actually sit and really chat with people and get to know all of our fellow YouTubers because a lot of them are going to be there as well.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So it's just always fun.
When is Ice FireCon on?
I believe it's the end of April. I think tickets will start going on sale in October.
Cool.
Hey, it ain't that expensive though. To be up.
Yeah, and it's definitely cheaper than Con of Thrones.
Yeah, you save
if
a lot
I do end
money.
up coming in next year for the con, which hopefully will happen, I'll probably come in like a week or so earlier so I can get acclimatized to A, the time changed, and B, the heat. I have been to Florida.
Yeah, Florida's big city. If I do make it though, I really would love to because I've been wanting to go to the Wizarding World for a long time, and that would be an opportunity to maybe connect.
If I go down there, I'm going to the Star Wars world. Period.
I want to see that too.
Just invading Disney. It's just it's a con invading Disney, and then you like Universal as well because you have to do both. Not that I haven't been to those two before. I have been to them many times, but definitely both because I forgot that the Wizarding World was there. So I said definitely go to. Plus, I love roller coasters. I absolutely love them. So I have to go back on the Hulk coaster. I have to go back on the Dueling Dragons. I have to go back on Big Thunder Mountain. I have to go back on like the new version of the Tower of Terror. Galaxy ride, which is still the best version of that ride anywhere in any Disney that I've been to because I've been to the California one. I've been to one in Paris and I've been to the one in Florida, and the Florida one at MGM is always the best one. The version of the Rock and Roller Coaster is stellar. Like I'm a bit of a roller coaster nerd when it comes to these things. So like just point out a roller coaster and be like, yes, we're going on that. Come on, move. Let's go. Get the fast passes out. No standing in the extra long queue. We're doing this.
Yeah, there's no doubt I'm going there to build a lightsaber. It costs $200 to build a lightsaber. I'm definitely building a lightsaber, and that's what it would be. That's why that's the number one reason why I would go there. Do that. Yeah, you select your crystal.
I really do want to go, but
you get your crystal and everything, and you pick, and you don't know what color it's going to be. You get your crystal, you put your crystal in there, and then I guess at the same time everyone puts their crystal in the thing and it lights up. You build your whole lightsaber, how it's gonna be, how it's gonna look, and then you don't know what color it is, and you put your kyber crystal in there and it shoots the color out, and then that's what everyone finds at the same time.
In Paris, they had a big whole table where it's just like all the different bits. So you could build like one lightsaber or a double lightsaber that connects, and you can unhook it so you can have two at the same time with two different colors. But when
Darth Maul saber, that's awesome.
When me and my family were there, I was wanting to build one. My stepdad was wanting one until I spotted the actual like proper lightsaber that's like $300 or €300 up in the exclusive case, and I pointed it to my stepdad and he was like, I'm getting that. I was like, my mum will kill you if you spend that much money. And then they basically bribed me and my children to keep quiet about it and just tell my mum it didn't cost that much. And after my stepdad passed, I basically said to my mum, I don't want anything else for my 30th birthday. I don't want any gifts. I just want that lightsaber because that's my connection. So I still have that like really good lightsaber. You basically turn it on. It's one of the ones where you move it and it makes all the noises.
Make all the whoosh sounds.
Yep.
Nice.
That's
What
awesome.
up to my lady Ellen Marr from the Lady in the Dime podcast?
All right, Tone. I don't know much about boxing. I know you was
Yeah,
talking about
I'm probably gonna end the stream and then do a whole brand new one just for the box because I didn't really have a chance to talk the box. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna end the stream on this one, change the title. I'll be right back in 5-10 minutes, and I'm gonna do a little, probably for half an hour. I'm gonna do a little Earl Spence that. So hopefully y'all come back. If you don't understand why, if you're not into boxing, that's fine. But it's a big fight. I have to talk about it, and I want to talk about it. And I'm doing what the fuck I want to do. And I'm talking about what I want from now on. I ain't just sticking to one thing because that's what people want to listen to. I appreciate people want to listen to things, but if you're down with me, then you should just be able to listen to me talk about anything.
We are well-rounded nerds around here. We don't just stick in just one genre. We like everything.
All right, so everybody, I'll be right back. Lauren, AK, thank you for helping me talk about this Malik Yoba, shedding some light and putting some things in my eyes about it that I didn't know, and a situation, and a little Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Word up, yeah. Thanks for having us on. It was fun.
I'll be right back to what we're talking about this fight.